Hi everyone, and welcome to the Ninja Chickens channel. My name's Maria, and I will be your host for the next little bit. This is a fibery related podcast about knitting and natural dyeing and spinning and other fun stuff like that. I'm coming to you from just outside of Asheville, North Carolina, in the mountains, where I live on my land with a bunch of chickens and some bees and my husband and 2 kids and 4 cats. Some of the cats whom you will probably see very soon. One of them is sitting right next to me now, actually. This is Cookie Dough. Oh, this is the biggest chubba we have. He's generally a sweetheart, though. Although he's not extremely talkative. He doesn't tell you when he wants you to let him go or stop doing whatever you're doing. He just smacks you. But anyway, my name's Maria. You can find me on Instagram. Ooh, he just popped a balloon. Sorry about that. Just scared himself across the house. My name is Maria, and you can find me on Instagram as ninja.chickens. You can find me on Ravelry as Ninja Chickens. And we have a Ravelry group, the Ninja Chickens Ravelry group, where there's lots of goodness going on. If you want to come over and check it out, that'd be great. And here's the other cat, another cat. Isabella you know well because she's always meowing at me. She's the little one and the old lady. So maybe she'll sit with me and keep quiet today. She matches my sweater. This is my Fern and Feather sweater, which you saw last time, but I wasn't wearing it yet. And it's so cozy, I don't want to take it off. I wear it all the time. So I have lots of finished objects for you today, and we'll go over some of those first. And then let's see a little bit about spinning, a couple acquisitions, and a few things that are happening on the homestead. So I'll start with finished objects. The first thing I have is not here. I'll be right back. So the first thing that I have finished is my Solbein sweater by Mary Jane Mucklestone. And I did it in Let Lopey yarn, and it was knit in the round and then steeked down the front. And I think I'd finished steeking it last time. I just was waiting for a button to call it, or a ribbon to call it officially done, and I've got that in there. I'm not much of a seamstress. Let me see. Here it is. This is some extra ribbon. Let's see if you can see that. It's a little fairy. Probably not going to focus, it's so close. A little fairy and her bird. And I just love it. I think it's so sweet. I looked on Etsy and found a woman named Fräulein Steffi. And she had all kinds of beautiful ribbons. And it came from Germany, but it was really cheap shipping because she was able to just slip it in an envelope. So I'll put her information in here so you can check her out. But the ribbon is perfect. And so now it's done. And I've been wearing this a lot also. This one seems to be more of an indoor sweater, and this one seems to be more of the outdoor sweater. We're not really needing it right now. It's still really warm for December. Usually by now we've had a chance of snow at least, but it's not even been cold enough for that. I think we are going to have possibly some snow next weekend, which would be amazing. Yeah, so that was great. It was a really nice knit. There were a few places where you carry 3 colors together, but so it was a little more complicated in that vein, but still I thought a fairly easy knit and really quick because it's an Aran weight yarn. Yes, so my next finished object is actually a test knit that I've been doing for Christina Danai, who is also ex-Tina with Wolves, and this is the hat. I talked about it last time because I had knit the outside and it was too short. My row gauge was too short. So what I ended up doing is knitting the inside. You can see there it's a little bit longer than the outside. Knitting that an extra almost 2 inches so that there was basically a rim on the outside. Let me see if I can get it back together now. A rim on the outside to use a little more, to give it a little more length. So it's really nice. It's It's kind of like a ski cap, and my husband loves this kind of fit. And if he doesn't feel like being as decorative on one day, he can just turn it inside out and wear it like this. So I'm going to give it to Toby for the holidays, so he hasn't seen it yet. And I really like it. I thought it was a real straightforward knit. It was a lot of fun. You had this long plain area, which was actually a lot of fun to do and work real quickly on after all the detail. So I really enjoyed it. I think she's coming out with it in mid-January. And, oh, I didn't write down the name of it. But if you follow X Tina, like the letter X, Tina with Wolves on Instagram, you'll see when she comes out with it. She's a prolific knitter and has some really beautiful patterns out. And this yarn, the yellow, is by Twisted Fintch, and the speckled is by Magpie Fibers. And I think they went really well together. I wasn't sure about it. When I put them together at first, I was like, I don't know if that's going to just be too much. But I think it came out really nicely. So that is my second FO. I kind of went FO crazy over the last couple of weeks. I had so many things that were just close to the end, and I just felt like I wanted to finish everything so that I could start new in the new year. I'll probably have something on before then because it's a month till then, but I don't know, I just wanted to get almost everything off the needles. The only thing I still have on my needles is the granny stripe crochet blanket, so I'm not really counting that because that's a long-term thing and it's crochet, so all my knitting is off my needles. So the other thing I finished is called the Birkilauf. It's Icelandic, so I'm trying to pronounce it right. And it means birch leaf. And I saw this on someone else's feed and just fell in love with it and fell in love with the color. It's from Caroline, and I've spoken about her before, who owns Herner och Er, the Swedish yarn company, and this is her yarn. So the colored yarn anyway, so I did a trade with her so I could get what was left of that ball that she knit the hat on so I could also do it, and then I used my own white. It was a sport weight, so I just doubled up to make the birch pattern, and I really like it. I think the white needed to be a little fluffier, a little larger to stand out, but I still think it's really pretty. And it's big and cozy and will be perfect for snowy weather, cold breezes. So yeah, I really like it. I knit this in one day. It was, you know, not only an errand to almost bulky weight yarn, but it was a really quick knit, and I really wanted to finish it. So I think I may have cast it on and done like 1 or 2 rows at night, and then the next morning started and finished it by the afternoon. It's a quick knit and really beautiful and fun color work if you're interested in trying that out. So that's that one. And let's see, I finished my Claire poncho, which is right here. This one I've been holding on to for a long time, and I kind of stopped knitting it for a while because I had all those sweaters that I wanted to get finished with. It's too hard to put it on here and show you what it looks like, so I'll put in some pictures. But I knit this with some of Fern Fiber's old yarn called Seven Sisters, which is a mix of alpaca, linen, and silk, and it's beautiful. I love the way it drapes. I love the color. It's indigo dyed, and I really love the lace on the side. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to wear it because it's really for warmer weather, but we decided to take a trip, take the new camper down to Florida over the new year, so I'll have a chance. So I thought I need to finish this. So I finished it up, and now it's ready for the beach. Excuse me. Yeah, and that's my pattern. That's the Claire poncho that I designed for my mother for her birthday in September, and I really like it. There are a lot of people who have, compared to my other patterns, there are a lot of people who have knit that one up, and I think it's they're all turning out really beautiful. So it's on Ravelry if you want to see what some people are doing, because some people, the pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn, but there are a lot of people who have been using larger weights and just changing their gauge, and it's coming out really nice. So anyway, My last work in or finished object is actually a design that I did again in one day because it's small and I was really motivated to do this. And this is called the Taking Root hat. I had been planning on doing, I think I showed you these yarns a few episodes back. I'd been planning on doing a design for Prado de Lana, which is a yarn company out of Pennsylvania. And super sweet, amazing family. I made lifelong friends with them when I went up to SAF this past May, and they're just giving, amazing people. And one of the things that I was really on the farm, other than the people, the farm is just amazing. Beautiful pastures with these massive oak trees that just stretch really wide, and all the boughs give shade to the sheep, which was really cool. So I thought it would be nice to do something in their yarn that showed acorns. So this is my acorn pattern with a sweet little border before, and I did it in their sport weight yarn by one of their sheep named Idris. And the brown is black walnut dyed and the green is goldenrod dyed. And I think it's a really nice hat. I'm generally more a fan of the beanie style than the slouchy style, so I don't knit a lot of slouchy hats, but I really like how it came out. They have on their land what's called bur oaks, and I don't think I'd ever seen or heard of those before. They put out these little acorns that are fuzzy. They have like little little dresses on or something. They're really cool looking. So I thought the hat kind of looked like the acorn because of this detail here, and it's a different type of ribbing, if you can see it. So I tried to give it the texture that that the acorn seemed to have, as well as, you know, the shape and everything. So that will probably be coming out sometime in mid-January, and I really like it. It's in testing right now, and I've already gotten it back from the tech editor, and it's all good. So, so yeah, this is called Taking Root, and that'll be out sometime soon. And that is all my finished objects. Yeah, it kind of feels freeing not to have anything on my needles right now. I don't have to think of anything like, what do I want to knit next? Or, oh, I should sit down and put a few stitches on. I know that one of the next things I'm going to be knitting is the Unini hat by Anna of Dunkelgrün. I got her a little yarn kit, and I've been wanting to knit this up since I saw her first posting about it. I have a friend who is going to be having a baby in the spring, so I thought that would be a perfect gift. At first I thought I'd knit a hat or I'd knit a sweater, but then I realized anything I knit for 5-6 years or younger, they're going to grow out of really fast. But a little stuffed animal she can have, or he can have, for years. And some of my kids' favorite stuffed animals are things that they've had since they were born. So in fact, Kaya's first stuffed animal was her favorite until she was about 8 or 9, and then she passed it on to Leaf, and now it's one of his, so it's been in our family for many years. So I thought that would be a neat little gift, and here's some pictures of Unini. So I will cast that on soon, I'm sure. And then I don't know what else. I have lots of things on my list, but I haven't gone to look yet because I don't want to be tempted. I want a few days without anything on the needles. I've told you before, my husband Toby knits, but very rarely. And recently we were in a store that had some really long cabled hats. Like, they would definitely be slouchy, but they were like chunky yarn and big and cozy looking. And he was like, I think I want to knit one of those. So I might sit down with him and help him get started. I don't know if he's at the cable stage or not. So maybe what I was thinking of doing was just kind of making my own pattern that has one large, big, bulky cable down, you know, the side or something, and the rest of it is stockinette or something like that. We'll see. But he's interested, so I'm excited to get him started on something. I have lots of bulky yarn or Aran weight yarn that he can use. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about, I guess we're at acquisitions now, because that was what the Unini kit that I got. Here's all the yarn from the little kit, so I can put together a unicorn. And And the other thing I got was Liesel of Buckaloo View. She has a podcast. She's also Buckaloo View on Instagram. She was having a sale on some of her rope baskets that were naturally dyed. And I've been wanting some of these for a long time. So I went in and grabbed a couple. And I love them. I went through what I call the great purge in our house, and we cleaned, we decluttered, we got rid of all those things that no longer served us, that we just didn't need. And so I needed a couple of baskets to put some of the things in that remained that I wanted to kind of keep. You know, like the things that I have at my bedside table, I'd like to have a nice basket to have them in. So I got these. This one is dyed with turmeric and avocado pits. And this one I think is just avocado. No, onion skins. So they're really pretty, gentle, natural colors. So I got them, and I was going to show my daughter because she enjoys things like this. So I was walking to her room, and I had them behind my back. I was kind of hiding them, thinking I'll surprise her. She comes out, and she's been cleaning her room too for many months, trying to do a reorganization. She's got, well, she doesn't have most of it done. She's got a long way to go, but it's going very, very slowly. One thing she came out and said is, if I'm going to get this room organized, I need some baskets. I need to put baskets in my closet. I need to put some things in them. So I was standing there with my little baskets, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll have to go out and find those. Gently put it in my desk so she didn't see what I was holding. I was like, you are not taking my brand new little baskets and sticking them in the back of your closet. So she hasn't seen them yet. I'm such a bad mom. So another thing that I got with them are these beautiful little lavender sachet, which she naturally dyes the lace and then sews that on to these, and they smell so delicious. And I only got one, but she sent a second one, which I think was really, really generous. So one of these is going to go into a prize pack. I don't know if it'll go for the sweater knit along or if it'll be some other giveaway, but they're really nice. So they're great to keep in your knitting bag to help everything smell nice and fresh, your project bag. So that is acquisitions. And while I'm talking about yeah, I'm wearing my pajamas. Just realized when I crossed my legs, you can see my hedgehog pajamas. I don't get out of them unless I have to, because they're just so much more comfortable than day clothes. If someone made day clothes that fit like pajamas, I'd be happy to wear those. But if I don't have to go anywhere, I'm in my pajamas. So the Colorwork Sweater Cal, it's going really well. Even if you're not interested in joining in, you should go to the thread and take a look at some of the things that people have been knitting. There's probably 10 or 12 finished sweaters now, and maybe 40 to 50 people who are participating. As far as in the chatter thread, where you can see things that people have been working on. I haven't looked at the count in a while, but yeah, and it's only December 1st. It goes through January 31st, so you've still, well, December 4th. You've got lots of time to join in if you want to. There's some beautiful sweaters there. It's really fun to see the progress people are making. And we have some really nice gifts. I'm going to pull a prize for the chatter thread and also for the finished objects. And there's some really beautiful stuff. I'll try to remember to bring that in next time so I can show you the things that people have donated. There's project bags, there's yarn, one of my little enamel pins. Yeah, if there's something that you'd like to donate to the Colorwork Sweater Cal, just let me know. That'd be great. I would love to add more maker goodies. So let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to be doing another sock blank release on the 10th. So that's next Sunday. I'm hoping that the larger eco-printed bags will be ready by then, but I'm not sure. If they are, they will definitely go in there, because I know that'd be nice to be able to have those in your hands before the holidays so that you can gift them if you wanted to. But the sock blank release will be going on the 10th at noon. The information is in my Etsy store, which is just Ninja Chickens on Etsy. So it'll be Sunday the 10th at noon, yeah. And that will be the last one that I have this year. The next one will be sometime in January. That gives time to get them to you and a little break for me for the holidays. Speaking of the holidays, I'd been thinking of doing Vlogmas. if you don't know about Vlogmas, it is where podcasters kind of do little snippets of what's going on during their day for the holidays in December. Some people build up to Christmas, some people go all the way through the new year. And I thought about it, and I thought it would be really fun to do, and I love keeping up with everyone, you know, just like 2 to 3 5-minute little videos of what's going on in your day and the things that you're doing. But I was really honest with myself in that I would end up, it wouldn't just be 3 to 5 minutes. It would be an hour and a half with taking the videos and editing and getting it up there on YouTube. And I wanted to try and be more present with my family and myself during the holidays and not feel like I needed to look at every moment as, is it a filmable moment or not? So instead, what I decided to do was those times where we're doing something festive or it's something that I want to share, I'll take little snippets and I will probably put it at the end of the podcast. And then if you're not interested, you could just log off, or I'll right here, I will put the time of when it starts in case that's all you're interested in, or maybe I'll put it at the beginning so that you can just forward to that if you want. And I may podcast every week in December instead of every other week. We'll see. But yeah, Vlogmas is really cool. If you follow other podcasters and you haven't seen it yet, you should look up Vlogmas and knitting. You'll see some fun knitting stuff. I was talking to my son, my 8-year-old. He's so blunt. We were watching Brooklyn Knit Folk. I was watching with headphones on. He's like, what are you watching? So I took it off so he could hear, and I told him about it, that she lives in New York, and he was like, oh, I can see why this would be cool, you know, and then I told him that I was thinking about doing it, but, you know, I didn't know if I had enough content or if I would have enough time and all that. He goes, yeah, you kind of stay at home most days, so it'd probably be boring. I was like, yeah, that's true, I guess. So, yeah, so one thing that I did that I will put at the end is that I went to a big art show called The Big Crafty in Asheville. And I almost never get to go there because I either find out about it the weekend after it's done or it's on a weekend that I can't go. And so I was able to head out this Saturday to go to it, which was really nice. And I just took snippets of a couple of places that I thought you might enjoy seeing. It's in our large Asheville downtown auditorium. So there's, I don't know, many, many crafters there. There were a lot of potters. There were a lot of jewelry makers, but there was also some really cool stuff. Not that those aren't cool, but you know, there were along with that other cool things that I wanted to show you. So I'll put some of those snippets at the end here. And then there was one other thing before I get to some book recommendations I wanted to give to you. Is what I did do, since I decided I wasn't going to cast on anything new just yet, is I put this on my spinning wheel. This is by Countess Ablaze. It was something that I got recently in a trade. Look at that sparkle. I love it. It's just merino and the sparkle. And it's looking super beautiful as I'm spinning it up. So yeah, this is by Countess Ablaze. And it's the Medicine of Heart's Ease from the Odyssey Trail Book 4. That's the name of the colorway. So I'm excited about this. I don't know what I'll do with it, but it's been tempting me on the wheel. So I've been working on that lately. And the only other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was is a couple of book recommendations. A few people had asked me about books related to the winter solstice or holiday books that I might recommend. Since I talked last time about how we celebrate Christmas with our families because they celebrate Christmas, but we're not really religious, and we more celebrate the time of the winter solstice and just the change of seasons. So I wanted to show you this book, which is called The Winter Solstice, and it's by John Matthews, The Sacred Traditions of Christmas. And it takes a look at many, many cultures and their different traditions of what they've done throughout history to celebrate this time of year. It also has recipes for different foods. It has crafts, talks about Santa Claus, talks about the old Roman holidays, talks about the solstice in China. It's a really neat book, and I enjoyed it. So that's one I would recommend. And our library carries this, so you may be able to find it at your library. Although we bought it so we can kind of take it out every holiday season and look through it and see if there's a craft we want to do or a section we want to read together. The other book that I wanted to tell you about is one that I heard about years ago on public radio when it first came out, and it's called The Flight of the Reindeer, and it is by Robert Sullivan. It's the true story of Santa Claus and his Christmas mission. It is so cute. It is the story written kind of like by an anthropologist who has followed the history of Santa Claus and how he could possibly make it. I mean, it's fiction, but they write it as if it's nonfiction. How he could possibly make it on his flight. He has quotes from weathermen, like Al Roker from one of our big TV studios. He has quotes from George Bush, the president helper to Santa Claus, who clears all the airways on Christmas to make sure Santa has good passage. He has quotes from people who hike up to high mountains to drop off treats for the reindeer when they need a pit stop. It's just really, really cute. He talks about the aerodynamics of reindeer and how they can fly. I love this book. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, there's the reindeer one. They're practicing flight. So anyway, this is another fun one. I don't know if you'd find this in your library or not, but Flight of the Reindeer by Robert Sullivan. Really cute holiday story. So there you go. I think that's it. If you have any ideas of what I should cast on next, let me know. If you want to drop in and say hello in the Ravelry group, that'd be great. It'd be nice to touch base with you. And I'll put in a little bit about what we've been doing over the last couple of days at the end, and then I will see you again. If not in 2 weeks, then next week. All right, have a great week or two. See you guys. Bye. If it looks good.